Hello, I'm Officer John Morgan with the Knoxville City Police Department Safety Education Unit. Today, I'd like to talk about bullying information for parents. Our goal is to stop bullying. What is bullying? Bullying is unwanted, aggressive behavior among school-age children that involves a real or perceived power imbalance. The behavior is repeated, or it has the potential to be repeated over time. Both kids who are being bullied and who have bullied others may have serious lasting problems. Bullying is a form of harassment and can happen at home, at school, or in the area they live in also. It includes actions such as making threats, spreading rumors, attacking someone physically or verbally, and excluding someone from a group on purpose. The definition of bullying per the Tennessee schools is bullying is defined as unwanted, aggressive behavior that involves a real or perceived power imbalance. Behavior is repeated or has the potential to be repeated over time. The imbalance of power involves the use of physical strength, access to embarrassing information, or popularity to control or harm others. At the bottom is the Tennessee Code annotated for schools on development of policy regarding harassment, intimidation, bullying, or cyberbullying. It also lists, I also give the definition of harassment, intimidation, or bullying. Harassment for the Tennessee Criminal Code is when a person commits an offense who intentionally, either by threatens by telephone and writing or by electronic communication, including but not limited to text messaging, facsimile transmissions, electronic mail, or internet services, to take action known to be unlawful against any person and by this action knowingly annoys or alarms the recipient. And I've listed here the Tennessee Criminal Code for this. It can be a Class A misdemeanor. Even in our juvenile laws, it'll still apply for that. I listed assault. The definition of assault for the Tennessee Criminal Code is a person who commits assault who intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly causes bodily injury to another, or intentionally or knowingly causes another to reasonably fear imminent bodily injury, or intentionally or knowingly causes physical contact with another and a reasonable person would regard the contact as extremely offensive or provocative. Cyberbullying, I'd like to talk a little bit about that. Cyberbullying is bullying that takes place using electronic technology. Electronic technology includes devices and equipment such as cell phones, computers, and tablets, as well as communication tools, including social media sites, text messages, chat, and websites. Examples may include mean text messages or emails, rumors sent by an email or posted on social network sites, and embarrassing pictures, videos, websites, or fake profiles. I'd like to also include that once you put anything out with a electronic device out into cyberspace, it's there forever. I can't stress that enough, that once anything is sent, pictures, messages, whatever, somebody's taken a picture of it, they've saved it, it's out there in cyberspace and can be pulled back in to be used from other people. Where can bullying happen? Kids can get bullied not only at school, in the playground, but also at home by peers and other siblings. Sometimes we think about bullying as something that only happens at school or maybe on the playground or out in the community sometimes. But it can happen at home by even if it's not an older sibling, a younger one, but also maybe even an aunt, an uncle, that can be bullying that child and causing harm to them and lasting harm to them on them getting bullied. And then they can take that, if they're getting bullied at home, they may take that back into the schools to think it's okay that behavior is acceptable to take to a school around other kids and to do those same things to other kids. Types of bullying is verbal, it's teasing, name calling, inappropriate sexual comments, taunting, threatening to cause harm. You have social bullying, which includes leaving someone out on purpose, telling other children not to be friends with someone, spreading rumors, embarrassing someone in public. Cyberbullying. Physical bullying, such as hitting, kicking, pinching, spitting on someone, tripping and pushing them, taking or breaking someone's things, and making mean or rude gestures. Warning signs to look for if someone's being bullied is unexplainable injuries, lost or destroyed clothing, books, electronics, jewelry, frequent headaches or stomach aches, feeling sick or faking illness, change in eating habits like suddenly skipping meals or binge eating, because they're, kids are either stealing their food at school or throwing it away or, doing something to it. Difficulty sleeping or frequent nightmares, declining grades, loss of interest in schoolwork, not wanting to go to school, sudden loss of friends or avoidance of social situations. Sometimes that friend that they've had changes and either gets with the kid that's bullying them or is afraid also and may avoid them because they don't want to be part of that of them being bullied. But it's always great to just reiterate with a child or teen that it's better in numbers usually. If they're getting bullied, it's better to have friends with them, to be there for them and to, even if it's going to get help if they're getting bullied, to go find an adult or something. But it's better to have somebody there with them. It can also be feelings of helplessness or decreased self-esteem, and self-destructive behaviors such as running away from the home, harming themselves, or talking about suicide. If your child is starting to do these, child or teen starting to do these kind of actions, please get help. There's help out there for children and teens. There's people out there that if they don't want to talk to their parents about it, sometimes it's hard to talk to a parent about it. School counselors are great to intervene with that, to be there to talk to them, other counselors out in the public and all that. But there is help out there that can help them, and also talk with the school about what can be done to keep these two kids away from each other. Signs a child is a bully. If your kid is a bully, though, we need to talk about that a little bit too. What to look for if you think your kid may be the bully. Are they the type that get into physical or verbal fights a lot? Do they have friends who bully others? Or are they hanging around with kids that are bullying others? Are they increasingly aggressive? Are they just getting into fights a lot and everything at home and other places? Do they get sent to the principal's office or to detention frequently? That may be something. Have unexplained extra money or new belongings. Always watch what your kids have. If all of a sudden they come into new AirPods or or new phone or something like that, and I traded for it. I've seen kids come up with excuses of trading for things, or I found it. If they found something that's fairly expensive, they probably stole it or bullied somebody to get it. But there's somebody out there that's probably missing that, so that needs to be turned in. But watch what your kids bring home and what they have. Or do they have extra money, or do they have new belongings? Are they blaming others for their problems? That can be parts of it. Don't accept responsibility for their actions. So that goes back to blaming others. So they're not taking that responsibility. Are they competitive and worry about their reputation or popularity? And sometimes, if they're trying to get to that new higher reputation or increase their popularity, it may be from bullying others to try to get them to feel less than they are. Why don't kids ask for help? bullying makes them feel helpless, and they may try to handle it on their own to try to gain control back, or they may feel like they are tattletale if they tell an adult. Kids aren't a tattletale. They're not snitching on somebody or whatever else. They need to let others know when and if somebody may be getting hurt or bullied. They need to let somebody know, though, because and tell them it's okay for that. That's that's not being a tattletale or snitching on somebody. They fear backlash from the kid that is bullying them, and that's been a thing that when I've talked to a lot of kids about that is they're afraid that it may be solved for a little bit, but eventually that kid is going to remember that. And what we try to do a lot with that is intervene and find out the underlying problem of what is wrong with the kid, why they have such a problem. And sometimes it's something small that they can find common ground on and get over it and move on from there to where the bullying stops. It's humiliating, and they don't want adults to know what is happening to them, whether it is true or false. They fear adults will judge them or punish them for being weak. Hopefully your kid never feels like this, and I would suggest not making them feel that they can't come talk to you. That's what a parent is there for, is there to help them work through whatever problem that they're having, and get the help that they need at either at school or out in the community, or even at home. They feel socially isolated, and that no one cares or is listening to them. They will also feel that nothing is being done about it. Adults, we have a lot of things going on in our lives. We're working, we're paying bills, we're trying to be there for our kids, we're trying to be a good role model for our kids, and we have a lot of problems that we are always it's on our heads and all that. And so it's hard when a kid comes to us and they talk to us about a problem that they're having at school, or something about maybe a bullying, and we don't think it's that big of a deal. But to them it is. That's a major thing in their life, and we need to take time to talk with our kids about that, to make sure that we and show them that we are listening to them, and that they can come to us about things like that. If we start shutting that down, then they're not going to come to us anymore, and they're going to find friends or other people, or they're just going to shut down completely. And that could lead to other problems that we don't need a kid going to, as far as like suicide or feeling that they need to really hurt that other person. But keep those lines of communication open with your child at all times. They feel rejected by their peers and will look for friends to help protect them from bullying, but fear losing that support of their friends. Hopefully they have friends, and there's all kinds of kids out there for other kids that have the same problems or all that, or the same feelings, or they even have the same interest, and that's where a kid needs to try to maybe find that person that they can talk to. But always, I tell kids a lot about this, is with friends that you have, is watch who you have as friends. Pick good friends. Pick friends that are going to be there, that are not going to put you in bad situations. How can we prevent bullying? Help kids understand bullying. Talk about what bullying is and how to stand up to it safely. Tell kids bullying is unacceptable. Make sure kids know how to get help and who they can talk to. Like I say, keep that lines of communication open. Check in with them often. Listen to them. Know their friends. If you can, ask about school and the area you live in, what's going on around in the neighborhood. Try to understand their concerns. Encourage them to do what they love, such as like, different activities, interests, hobbies, making good choices with friends. And I can't stress that enough, is making that right choice with a friend. Model how to treat others with kindness and respect. Treat others as you would want to be treated. That's something that I've always stuck with ever since I've been a police officer. Even before that is, and that's something that I've always felt that you need to do is treat others as you would want to be treated. How to stay safe. Tell an adult if you are being bullied or see someone getting bullied. If being bullied, how they can use humor to say stop directly and confidently. Sometimes that diffuses the whole situation. That lets that bully know that they're not going to do it. They're not going to put up with it anymore. Sometimes just walking away helps. And I've said that several times with kids and all that is remove yourself from the situation. Sometimes you just have to walk away. Staying with friends or adults, sometimes it's better. Safety in numbers. And I tell them, even if they see bullying happen, sometimes it's better to go, to that kid that's getting bullied and kind of get them out of that situation. Be their friend long enough, to get them away from that. Helping other kids that they see getting bullied, just being that friend long enough, again, like I say, just to help them, or sometimes they might make a new friend, if they see somebody getting bullied, if they're getting that kid out of that area and all that, they might make a new friend with that kid that's getting bullied. Cyberbullying, this is something that you really need to, monitor with your teen, your child. Monitor teens' social media sites, apps, and browsing history. If you have concerns that cyberbullying may be occurring, review or reset your child's phone location and privacy settings. Follow or friend your teen on social media sites or have another trusted adult do so. Stay up to date on the latest apps, social media platforms, and digital slang used by children and teens. This is a continuous thing for a parent to do, is stay up to date, try to stay up to date on things going on with social media stuff nowadays. It's always changing, and it's up to us to make sure that we know what your children are getting into, as far as, is it something that's going to harm them or put them in harm's way. Know your child's usernames and passwords for email and social media accounts. Establish rules about appropriate digital behavior, content, and apps. Warn them of predators on sites that may act like another child or teen to gain their trust and information. And there's predators out there all the time, even if it's other kids, that's trying to get information on them or whatever else to set up false sites. Predators are always setting up false sites to act like they're another, child or teen, and they're into the same stuff they're into, and they're trying to talk to them and get to know them and find out where they live at and stuff like that. If your child comes across this, child or teen comes across this, please let either the school know or the police department know that there might be a possible predator that is making contact with your child. So we can intervene with that and see what we can do to help stop that. Communication, talk with your kids about their day. When they come home, talk about it. What was your day like? What was one good thing that happened today? Any bad things? What is lunchtime like at your school? Who do you sit with? What is it like to ride the school bus? A lot of bullying happens on school buses, especially when there's different age groups. You may have, middle school riding with elementary kids. You may have high school riding with middle school kids. Find out how their school bus is. Where do they sit at? Are they sitting with a friend? What happens on the school bus? What do you like to do in school? Encourage kids to do things that they like to do in school. Even if they don't if they're not interested in physical activities, even like there's other clubs and organizations that sometimes kids can get involved with that to make new friends, or to find people with similar interests. And that goes into, is there any clubs or anything you're interested in? But look into that in school. Sometimes if it's not there, maybe it's at a local Boys and Girls Club or Emerald Youth Foundation, or something like that they can go to that that they may have meet new friends that they can talk to and everything. Ask them, do they know what a bully is? But see if they know what a bully is. Have they seen a bully? And then you can get into, are you getting bullied or picked on? And bullying is a thing that happens. It's not a one-time thing. It's something that happens over and over. So when you start to talk about bullying with your kid or teen, child or teen, talk with them about, is this something that this one kid is doing to you constantly, or is this just like a one-time thing? Do you see other kids getting bullied? How does that make you feel? Is anybody, tattling on that bully? Are they turning them in, or does that other kid have friends that's protecting them? But talk about that, just about bullies and what it is and stuff. Thank you, and please watch the Kids Bully presentation with your child. I did another presentation that's just for kids. Don't just set your kid in front of it, let them go through it. See if you can sit down. There's going to be some of the same stuff I've talked about as with this parent video, but sit down with your child, because if they have questions throughout the video, or if you have questions, please contact the Knoxville Police Department, our safety education unit. We'll see what we can do to help you with that. Thank you.